Now, clearly, after seeing the response from Monsieur Dauphin and Trudel, it's quite obvious, at the very least, that both of them are uninformed about Verint and its history. Currently, by the way, we are in the middle of trying to get a hold of the contract to see more details about this. But let me be clear that the STM, the Montreal Transit System, did not sign a contract with Verint, but they did sign the contract with Enixim, E-N-X-I-M, which is a local company here in Quebec, and they're the ones who installed the equipment. Now, I did speak to a Monsieur Daniel Janson, who's a vice president of Enixim, and what he told me was exactly more or less what Monsieur Christian Portelance, who's the head of legal affairs for the Montreal Transit System, what he told me was, yes, it was signed between Enixim and the STM, but the hardware, software all comes from Verint. Now, Verint is the international company here, while Enixim is the local guys, which is quite interesting. So we hope to get a copy of the contract and hopefully give you more details in the next coming weeks. Now, let me elaborate about the ties this company has with U.S. and American air intelligence. Well, to start with, let me just here reveal to you in a report and a release from Verint's website here, where it mentions, for example, one of the directors, Mr. De Marinas, recently served as the president and chief executive officer of MITRE Corporation, where he remains the director, which provides security solutions for the computer systems of the Defense Department, the Federal Aviation Administration, the IRS, and several organizations in the U.S. intelligence community. And now Mr. De Marinas is currently the chairman, replacing Jacob Alexander, chairman of Verint. Also, another director is Lieutenant General retired Kenneth Minihan, who served as the 14th director of the National Security Agency, the boss of the CIA, and was senior uniformed intelligence officer in the Department of Defense, and also served as the director of the Defense Intelligence Agency. And he's the president of the Security Affairs Support Association, and he consults for national security and intelligence committees. And most interesting, I find, which you'll hear more of later, is a Mr. Howard Safer, who served as the 39th Police Commissioner of the City of New York. He also served as an Associate Director for Operations, U.S. Marshal Service, and also Assistant Director of the Drug Enforcement Administration. But also, he also served as a New York Fire Commissioner, which he was appointed by Mayor Giuliani. And of course, the CEO of the company, of Verint, Mr. Dan Bodner, an Israeli who served in the Israeli Armed Forces in an engineering capacity, and he is currently still the CEO of the company. And let's give you more information regarding its ties to the intelligence apparatus. There's an article here from Security Focus, from Kevin Polson Security Focus, where he says here, Verint's Stargate service does the actual wiretapping and is primarily marketed to telephone companies trying to comply with a 1994 Communications Assistance for Law Enforcement Act, which requires telecommunications carriers to keep their networks wiretap friendly for the FBI. In other words, they provide an open door for telecommunications companies so the FBI could do the work and do the snooping around. And he also goes on to say that Verint subsidiaries offices hold a facility security clearance from the Defense Department and are located in Chantilly, Virginia, a stone's throw from most of America's intelligence agencies. And by the way, they're just a few blocks from the National Reconnaissance Office, which runs the spy satellites for the United States. And then there was another clip here from Israeli 21C, which states here, Verint software work in several areas includes delivering actionable intelligence to the FBI and the U.S. Justice Department in the war on terrorism. One of the company's key applications is in communications interception, otherwise known as wiretapping. Now, surprisingly, Dauphin Trudel don't know this. And they also go on to say that Verint has an impressive list of sites now being monitored by digitized building security systems, including the U.S. Capitol, the Pentagon, and the Albert Bryant Courthouse in Alexandria, Virginia. Now, what is Converse? Converse, let's give you more information regarding Converse. Converse is the world's leading provider of multimedia enhanced communication and building services. Like I said earlier, the company was founded in 1984 by Jacob Alexander, as reported by the International Herald Tribune in September 2006, is a former Israeli intelligence officer. And in 2001, in a report which you'll be seeing soon from Fox News, it was reported that Converse works closely with Israeli government and under special programs gets reimbursed for up to 50% of its research and development costs by the Israeli Ministry of Trade and Industry. Verint, as reported on their webpage on April 17, 2006, was a fully owned subsidiary of Converse Technology, despite going public in May 2002. According to James Bernstein from Newsday, he reported here in January 2007 that Converse owns up to 50% of Verint. And by the way, that the company Commerce Info System that I told you about, whose system had been penetrated by Israeli crime syndicates and Israeli intelligence, the CEO of Commerce Info Systems and its president, as early as 1999, was no other than Dan Bodner, who's now currently the CEO of Verint Systems. And 2 months after the scandal broke out on Fox News, Commerce Info System changed names to Verint Systems. And you'll be getting to hear a clip from Fox News